Hello everybody, Nikki White here. Today I'm going to be taking you through the pros and cons of one of my favorite Final Fantasy games ever, Final Fantasy VI. Now I thought I'd start off with the pros of this game. I'm not going to really ruin anything for you. I think everybody's played this game by now, seeing as it's old. So here are the pros. Pro number one, the music. The music in this game is so good. I love this soundtrack. This Final Fantasy soundtrack is among the top Final Fantasy soundtracks out there. Pro number two. Now, I'm not gonna get into too many spoilers, I guess, but I really liked the storylines in this game. There was a lot of characters, there was kind of like a lot going on, but some of these plot lines like got you right here, right in the shirt, right? Yeah, in my heart. That's where I felt them. Right here. You know what? I don't actually care. If you don't want to hear spoilers, don't listen to this part. So some of the main stories that got you right here were stories like Doma, where Cyan's from, when his whole family and whole city is massacred by Kafka. What the hell? And then you follow them on the Phantom train, which was awesome, and you see them getting on and you're like, ugh. Or Edgar and Sabin, the two-headed coin. I took it as Edgar taking the hit because Sabin didn't really want to take the throne. That's how I saw it. Again, ugh. And the music was sad to go with it. The Terra Esper plotline. First of all, World of Beasts, which I think the song is called, is beautiful, and when you're learning the whole story, you're like, oh, Then there's all the, love stories, not my favorites. I'm sure there's many others because there was a lot going on in this game, but anyways, it was all good. All right, pro number three. Now I'm sure this is on everybody's list, and if it's not, then I don't know what's wrong with you, but the opera scene. This is one of the most memorable scenes out of any Final Fantasies I've ever played, and I've played a lot. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I played a lot of them, and this scene was awesome. You get kidnapped basically by this guy in an airship, and then you have to perform by memorizing the opera lines that Maria was supposed to be doing, and then Celeste is doing it, and it's crazy. I loved it. I messed up once just to see what would happen if I screwed up. I think I got kicked out. Worth it. You're singing the opera. Ultros crashes it, so there's an octopus in the rafters. You guys start battling, you all fall down onto the stage where the play is going on. This scene is awesome. If you haven't played this game and you don't feel like playing this game, at least look up the opera scene and just imagine the hilarity that would ensue if this happened in real life. Yeah. Pro number four. Hilarious enemy names. I'm sure there's different variations based on what version of the game you are playing. I think the version that we played was the Wii version, where you buy it on the digital console. And there was classic enemy names like Chicken Lip, Barb E, Madame, Brain Pan. The list goes on. We would just be in a battle and stop and be like, okay. I don't know, it must have been some weird mistranslation, but it was awesome. Pro number five, Ultros. Literally, Ultros. He is one of the best Final Fantasy enemies. He's just like this reoccurring boss battle, you could say. He's just this goofy purple octopus that shows up and has really witty lines. I loved him. There's one part in the game where you get Realm and she paints Ultros, since that's her ability, and Ultros sees the painting of himself, and I think he says, "I'm just a stupid octopus," and then he leaves because he's so ashamed. Pro number six. Mog. I love Mughals, and you're able to have a Mughal in your party. This is the first Final Fantasy that I've been able to do that in, and I loved it. And Mog is funny, and he's sassy, and I love when games don't take themselves too seriously. So Final Fantasy IX is notorious for that, and I just love it. It's so funny. Like at one point, Mog is sassing Maru. I love it. Also, cave full of Mughals. It doesn't get any better. It doesn't get any better. I'm sure again, it's on everybody's list because when you think of Final Fantasy VI, you think of Kafka. Kafka was a huge plus in this game. He is the biggest, baddest Final Fantasy villain that I've ever met. He doesn't have empty threats. I feel like everybody else in Final Fantasy is like, I'm gonna do it. But Kafka did it. He did it time and time again in this game. He would threaten someone and he would make good on that threat. He kills countless amount of people in this game just because it's fun for him. He's mad with power. Kafka is undoubtedly my favorite Final Fantasy villain. Oh, and in case anybody wants to argue that like Sephi is better or any other villain is better, let me just remind you, Kafka literally destroyed the world. Like, he did it. Actually, the world of ruin. He destroyed the world and became a god. So, I don't know how you're gonna argue that another Final Fantasy villain's better. Huh? Huh? Hmm? Alright, those are my top pros for the game. I'm sure there's a million more. I just don't want this video to go on forever. So now let's get into the cons. So, as I said, this is one of my favorite Final Fantasy games ever, but with every pro comes a con. What? Alright, con number 1. I found there was too many encounters in this game, like enemy encounters. It was like every single step you took, battle, battle. There's just too many battles. At one point in the game, if you have Mog in your party, he has, I think, his equipment that he can wear to prevent random encounters, so that is handy. Not so good for leveling up, but still get some of these chicken lips and brain pants off your radar. Con number 2. So, anyone who's played this game knows that there are a lot of characters. I feel like this worked as a disadvantage just because there's only so many characters you can like keep track of or care about. So there was like a handful of characters that I loved in this game. And then there was like the throwaway characters that I didn't really care about. I didn't care about their story. Meh. That being said, a bunch of these characters that I didn't really care about, you did not have to get. They were optional. So, whatever. Con number 3. I think that the graphics in this game are pretty timeless. Like, they age well. They're never gonna age. Anyways, they're good, but sometimes in like dark levels, like in caves or mostly caves dungeons, I'd have a hard time with the perspective. Like sometimes you'd see like a bunch of rocks at the bottom and it just looked dark, and somehow I was supposed to know like there was a path there, but you couldn't see it. So a bunch of times I'd be like, where am I going? Oh. Con number 4. At one point in the game, you lose Terra. Spoiler alert, I guess. She freaks out and she turns into an Esper. So she turns into this Esper, flies away, and you don't have her in your party. It sucks. Con number 5. As I was talking about the dungeon situation with the perspective, I found that dungeons in general were kind of confusing. This game is pretty difficult, I think. So sometimes you just get lost in these dungeons and there's really like no help, no explanation. So that would be frustrating. Con number 6. This is my last con for the game, but it's kind of a big one. It's a biggie because it involves the final boss battle with Kafka. Now, I think our party had some level 80s, level 60, something like that. So in the final boss battle, you have to arrange all of your characters, and we get all of them. You have to decide which order they're going to appear in. So we had like our top picks as the first 4. We blasted through this battle, which was weird because Kafka is such a badass that you think that it's going to be a lot more complicated. And it wasn't. This battle was pretty easy, which is disappointing because I feel like there was literally harder random battles in this game. And Kafka's like the ultimate villain, so I really thought that this was going to be a challenge. We were like ready, we were so pumped, we're gonna go, and then we just breezed through it. It was just underwhelming because you're like building up to this moment, you're like, this is gonna be crazy, this is gonna be crazy. Oh, like we only lost one character, right at the end, like on the last form of Kafka, we lost one character, so we had a runner-up come in. That was it. In my head, we were gonna be like down to our last characters, our bottom of the barrel, like struggling for life, but nope. There you have it, my pros and cons of Final Fantasy VI. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any more pros or cons, let me know. Okay, see you, bye!